This is day 1,671 days since Richard was treasonously, premeditatedly murdered on Fort Bliss. Breaches of security. I should have got that first. Do that later. I just wanted to plug in my phone, make sure everything is running. Oh, here it is. I found it. All these cords, right? Let's see if everything's running. See if I can do this. Okay, I think I'm okay. I accidentally bumped the plug of my camera. Okay, so sorry about that, everybody. We'll start. This is Sunday night. Happy Sunday night. We are burning the midnight oil, and it is day 1,671 days since Richard was retaliated against, was treasonously retaliated against, that there were breaches at Fort Bliss and security, national security. You're talking about the ADA. You're talking about missiles. You are talking about our national defense having a breach in security. And also, not just one, but so much breaches in security that you have weapons being provided to the enemy, to those that mean you harm. There was so much gun trafficking, ammo trafficking, kid trafficking, sex trafficking. We have it all. And today is really an amazing day. Thank you, Anicia, for coming on. It's an amazing day. I didn't think it could get better. I mean, it's been so crazy. I finally thought, wow, this is kind of fun writing these letters. After over 4 years of writing letters, and we're getting very quick at it. We're getting a system, and very quick at it. And it's like, wow, this is kind of fun to write these criminal complaints right now with Patel, with Cash Patel and Dan Bongino at the FBI, right? At the FBI. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine what the FBI field office in El Paso is thinking and doing right now? I would love to be a fly on the wall at that field office because they still have not, that I know of, arrested Leilani Hart. And they absolutely know that they have to do that. And that they have agent there, Jesus Eddie Nieto Jr., that risks lives by leaking Judge Roger Rodriguez's whistleblower complaint to the very suspects that he was identifying in the murder of a U.S. Army whistleblower soldier reporting on criminal trafficking. That is connected to cartels, that is connected to the international cartel, billion-dollar cartel business. and you have a judge that is so courageous that files a whistleblower complaint, and it was leaked to the very suspects of the murder in the murder case of Richard Halliday, the whistleblower. Two whistleblowers put in major danger, and not just the complaint, the contents, the substance of the complaint, so that they could tamper more, right? So that they could tamper more and obstruct justice more, but that they had uh, that he leaked that Agent Nieto leaked Judge Rodriguez's name, and so that, of course, set into motion retaliation. And so one day I really hope that Judge Rodriguez can get justice for that, really, because we absolutely know, because we have been retaliated against. Our home was searched without a warrant. The bullying, the harassment, the threats, the actions that were taken against us, for wanting just to know, hey, where's our son? Where's our son? What happened to our son? Right? And they went in full force, asymmetric warfare tactics using taxpayers' money, fraud, waste, and abuse. This is a Doge issue that they were using taxpayers' money to retaliate, to, and not only the money to do it, right, to pay for those getting a paycheck to do asymmetric warfare, but also the PAOs, the whole spiel, but also um, to abuse their power in the retaliation, which really they absolutely confirmed that they abused their power with Richard, right? They absolutely confirmed that they were abusing their power on Fort Bliss with the trafficking, with the hundreds of thousands of taken children that they want you to call, they want to do a psyop on our brains and call them unaccompanied. No, they're taken children, because hundreds of thousands of children don't just cross the border. I mean, is there like a pied piper or something like that? Like a pied piper. Oh, we're just going to play our pipes and all these children are going to come unaccompanied. That's not how it was. It just doesn't happen like that. And these are taken children that are trafficked. They have to be directed. And I don't care if they're 13 years old, 14 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, and you think, oh, they could go on their own. No, they're coming over the border, and who's taking care of them, who's providing with them, who's doing their paperwork, and then the media puts these stories out about, oh, now we can't help the unaccompanied children. No, wait a minute. It's all a ruse in that. It's all because where were they with these children when the humanitarian crisis was happening? And it was happening. And we know it because we have so many witness stories. And, this is why Jules Tuganon Chan, he might be on the edge. I don't know. I don't know if he has a conscience, right? I don't know if Ann Ogle has a conscience, right? But they absolutely knew that absolute humanitarian crisis was going on in the death camps on Fort Bliss, housing these children. Um, and where are they? Where are they? And, when President Trump says they're mostly dead, he's not kidding around, because he's been right all along, right? He's been right all along. Judge Rodriguez has been right all along. Richard has been right all along. We've been right all along. This was political warfare. This was political, just lies after lies, and a psyops. They do psyops, and that continues. And so we have to be absolutely vigilant. And use our common sense, our common sense, and be vigilant, and just test everything, right? Test everything and be really aware of what's going on, because um but it's amazing. Can we let our guards down a little bit right now? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it is a golden age, the start of a golden age, truly, because the whole remaking of politics is in front of our eyes, going on in front of our eyes, and it's hard to believe, but it's happening. It's happening in Europe. Um, I'm not too thrilled with the party CDU in Germany. It's the quote unquote the conservative party, ATF, the Alternative for Deutschland, is a more conservative party. But what they just won the election. The conservatives won the election. Now, I'm not saying that the Germans really like them. Um, and I'm not saying that they're they're the Trump of Germany. I'm not saying that at all either. But I am saying that it does show you a political movement of the people, that the people are saying, we we're voicing that we want to get back to common sense, that we want to get back to making Germany great, um, just like what's happening in the United States. So it's starting to a domino effect, what's happening in here, because right now we are really the envy of the world. Um, the talk of no IRS, the talk of auditing the Fed. I mean, real serious. I mean, it's really serious. The serious negotiations going on to um, bring on Greenland, and have that kind of political deals going on. It's just amazing, right? To have that kind of energy, to have the mineral rights of in Ukraine, to get to benefit as Americans, to benefit as Americans. It's just really amazing what's happening. And when you are doing well like this, right, for your people, then other countries want it too, and then they will. It's kind of like you give a person a fish, right, and they eat for a day, but you teach them to fish, and they fish for a life. They eat for a lifetime, right? It's kind of like that saying. We've been giving and giving and giving, and they just eat for a day, and we have to give again and give again and give again, and then all of a sudden our prices go up so high that we have to wonder if we're going to be needing food rations, right? This is the problem with that. But if we are um, make America great again, if we are manufacturing again, if we have hard money again, right? Hard money. And, I've been talking about this for a long time with the homeschool that we did. We studied the Austrian School of Economics, right? The Ludwig von Mises School of Economics, which is laissez-faire kind of economics, and there's no room for a Federal Reserve there. There's no room for an IRS there. It is by um, uh, you know, what Trump is doing right now. It's like he has become the Austrian School of Economics right now, and it's just glorious to see. And where there is no justice, then there's just band of robbers. Well, you don't want to have a vibrant economy and then have a band of robbers, right, that want to steal from you. So, what he has done is place Pam Bondi as the Attorney General. What he has done um, is, a fearless woman. Amazing so far, amazing. We want to see more. Um, and then, of course, Cash Patel, who our family has been following for years. We absolutely understand who he is. For him to be the director of the FBI, he means business. He absolutely means business. He's a man of efficiency and justice. Efficiency and justice. And then now with Dan Bongino coming on with him, I mean, wow. I'm just okay. Let's really get out all of our files, which we got a lot. We got a lot, and let's resend all of these letters we've been doing and making new ones to let them know because we've been blocked. We've been blocked. We've been tampered with. We've been swapped out. We've been impersonated. We've been lied about. Lied about. Did I say lie about? We've been lied about and whitewashed, totally whitewashed our Richard's file, things in Richard's file, including Judge Rodriguez's. Agent Howell said he never even heard of Judge Roger Rodriguez, and we would never have heard if Judge Rodriguez wouldn't have called us. And that's kind of like this whole thing with Danae Katzen. When she did her confession, she should have called us. She should have filed it. See, this is the amazing thing with a judge. He absolutely knows the system. He filed with multiple agencies, he told us, because he didn't trust just one agency. He filed with multiple agencies, and they still whitewashed him to the point where Agent Howell was like, "Oh, I don't know anything about that." Um, and but they couldn't block it. They couldn't block it. We know it. We know. And now we have the declaration of death, and we have, of course, the declaration that Richard was killed in the line of duty, and these are all legal issues. And there's more that's happening with our casualty affairs officer that we're working out right now. That's coming out. And we, are just um, not going to trust them because we want Richard's remains. That's super important to us. And we are going to refile and refile and refile and rewrite and refile until we get justice, until we get our son's remains. And it really seems comforting because it looks like we're not going to have to wait too long because the swiftness of the Trump administration and everything that they're doing is just absolutely incredible. And if we can have an active and vibrant economy, then we won't have the need and or the temptation for all of this criminal trafficking economy. If we don't have the IRS and this tax-free trafficking profits won't be such a temptation, right? So being legal, working hard is going to be, and the way the system will run is to trim it down, and you see that's going on, trimming it down, get out the fat, get out those that don't want to come to work, they just want to get a paycheck, trim it, you know, it's so good. I mean, because I know some people that are now having to face reality if they, and I like these people, they're my friends, and it's a great thing to see their excitement that, they can actually live again. You know, it's like sometimes the hard medicine makes you live again, right? Makes you get up and get dressed and do your hair and go to work and meet people. And the meeting people makes it like, oh, on the weekend you want to get together, or you have a life again, instead of what they did during the whole mandates, where they just wanted you to stay home in your house in your pajamas with your kitty cats, right? And I like kitty cats, but there's more to it. There's more to life than just staying home and rescuing kitty cats. Yeah, it's just amazing what we're hearing back. And I will tell you this: we've been following Dan Bongino for a long time. He's Rumble, right? He is Rumble, and yes, that was. We're very happy for um, Dan Bongino and his family. We're so happy, and they absolutely know of us, and we're just so happy that he's in there in that FBI. I can't tell you how happy I am. I'm so happy, and I'm just going to, and and I think that happy is hopeful. We're still very cautious, right? Because you know, this is such a huge case, and it's so complicated because it involves the cartel that are now designated the terrible organization, and that it involves the military betraying and doing treasonous acts, breaching our military base, breaching our national security, um, and selling us out, right? You have a chain of command that sold us out. You have generals that absolutely are being fired. You see by their firing that President Trump absolutely knows that there are bad players as generals. And these flag officers, like Sean Bernabe, he needs to be out. Boom, out, out, and court-martialed. That's how I would do it. You're out. Donna Martin, absolutely. Oh my gosh, what she's done. And the death penalty needs to be on the table. Um, you cannot, you know, we had a lesson today because being Sunday in church, God's love, right? God's love. And God's love is the fulfillment of his law word. That's love. If you are willing to put criminals on the street to do people harm, that's not love. If you're willing to put thieves so that they could steal from people on the street, that's not love. If you're willing to have military leaders that are over thousands of our sons and daughters for the protection of our country, the defense of our Constitution, and they commit treason and are the ones that cause the murders and the deaths. Look, if they would have reacted to Vanessa Guillen's absence in April of 2020, I don't think Richard would have ever been murdered. If they would have responded like they should have to Vanessa Guillen's April 2020 murder, even Gregory Morales to his, to Austin Hawk, to which was a month before, if they would have responded to Caleb Smithers like they should have, um, like Enrique Roman Martinez, like Elder Fernandez, if they would have responded, the CID, the Provost Marshal, this is Donna Martin, if she would have responded properly, lives would have been saved, but she didn't. And for that, and she was supposed to, that was her job. And she didn't. And not only did she did that, she didn't, she lied. She lied and covered up and manipulated and spent taxpayers' money on a dog and pony show with over 15 agencies that who knows what lies they said to those agencies or who was in on it. And it has uh, snowballed into almost 30 agencies in Richard's case. All of that money would have been saved. It would have been in the pockets of Americans or used for the betterment of this country. But because of the treasonous, lying, criminal activities of Donna Martin, who was given a third star, so that means that Senate Arms Committee needs to be held accountable for putting in people and giving them stars that they knew were committing treason and covering up very high what do you call that, profile, high profile cases like Vanessa Guillen, right? Absolutely, they could have saved lives. And so should they face the death penalty? Look, I've been doing this for over 4 years. They are so rotten, so evil. I, I can't even explain it day in and day out to people. I'm like, they must worship Satan. They must think that they're Satan incarnate because they are so evil, so cold blooded. She was so cold blooded. She came to that dog and pony show out of uniform, put a chair in the middle of the room of over 15 agencies, and many of them were numerous, right? There was a lot of people there. And in that big, huge room, sat there in her civilian clothes, folded her legs up in her lap like an Indian, and just orchestrated a dog and pony show with nothing. All of them sitting there silently. She had them silenced. She had them silenced, and she lied. And that is when we confronted them with the leaks, and they lied some more. They lied some more. And, that just cannot, y'all, what they have done, yes, they deserve the death penalty. Yes. They need to take it up with God, what they've done, and let God judge them. But it's called treason. It's called treason. It's called aiding and abetting a terrible organization that is sex trafficking, kid trafficking, gun trafficking, drug trafficking. That's what that is. And profiting off of it by money laundering and making other countries deals. Look at the Katie Hobbs issue. It crosses borders. And just as we are the envy of the world now to get common sense back in there, the rule of law back in there, our Constitution to have meaning again, to get patriotism back in there. That what makes a country great. You can't have officers in doggy masks recruiting puppies, right? And having sex cult activities in the military, hurting our young people so much that over the years the recruiting went so low that, and then who are you going to even get in? You don't even have the cream of the crop to pick from because the cream of the crop don't want to even serve in the military. And then you'll have conscription. I mean, just, one thing leads to the other. And that's why I love economics. That's why I love iPencil, because it gives you a perspective to all things, right? Economics is the work of the people, the production of the people. And, it's how our country runs. And if our country is run on fraud and criminal activity, it's going to um, it's going to produce what happened to Richard. And Donna Martin was aiding and abetting the worst type of crimes, along with Sean Bernabe, along with McConville, along with Milley, along with Michael Garrett, um, and I think his family, um, and more, and more. Um, Clem Coward, Matlock. And so I understand why the JAG had to be fired. I understand why the Joint Chiefs of Staff had to be fired. Absolutely. You know, and get people ready, have replacements. I can't even imagine the job. And look what has happened in a month. It's just remarkable. And today with Dan Bongino, uh, I'm really, if you saw him in the hearings, if you saw um, Dan Bongino in the hearings, and you know exactly what I mean, um, just you couldn't have picked a better person to be the deputy director of the FBI. It's just amazing. And so we are very hopeful. And it's good to feel hopeful. It's really a good feeling to feel hopeful because that means there's a really good chance that uh, Agent John Morales will be driven to arrest Lalani Hart ASAP. They have to, right? They have to. And the whole thing with Danae, um, I hope that she absolutely understands that she made the right choice with the confession, that she needs to go back and know that that is the right thing, that she needs to stand her ground and tell the truth. Don't be wishy washy. Don't be schizophrenic. Don't be bipolar. Don't be that. You need to absolutely stand firm and tell the truth. Um, just tell the truth. And the truth might be a little fuzzy because of everything that has happened, but you need to tell what you know and let the investigation, let the evidence and everything like that tell the rest of the story, because there's a lot. There's just a lot. And just like I said yesterday, it's the last call, right? It's the last call. People need to come forward, like David Poche, right? He needs to come forward because we have really good indication that he was manipulated into doing what he did. Um, because it's when you're in a fraudulent activity, making money criminally, then you can be manipulated easily. They have something on you, right? They have something on you. So it's very clear that there are like um, Jonathan Caleb Ambrose, Danae's husband. He should absolutely continue to confess, right? Continue to confess and do the right thing. So We're getting a lot of information in, and we are going through a lot of our audio. We'll try to release some more audio. We're going through a lot of audio that we have uh, data banked. I don't know if that's the right word. Um, because all this evidence needs to be resent out again. And yeah, that is this whole we have audio on Arias Mata. That's coming into big play right now. There's just a lot of panic, and with the panic, there is a lot of lies. But they make mistakes when they panic, when they lie like this. And so we want to relieve them a little bit and say, look, just come out and tell us what you know. Tell us what you know. um, yeah, and yes, do they have to face? You know, I'm going to leave that to Pam Bondi. I'm going to leave that to the prosecutors. I'm going to leave that to the FBI, finding out exactly, defining what they've done, or is that's the AG defining the crime. So it is amazing what's happening. That's the bottom line, and we're getting great feedback, and so much so that we don't even have time to sleep. There's no time to sleep right now. Um, we absolutely have to be working full on, because the floodgates have opened, and we've been prying them open, but now they are really. Uh, President Trump is doing some heavy working on the prying of the floodgates, and we appreciate the help. Praise God. We appreciate the help in prying open those floodgates. So, let's see what, keep praying. Remember all of those mustard seed trees that were, it's like, wow, is it harvest time? I mean, I see that dream over and over again when I was driving out to El Paso. The mustard seeds of faith, and lots of them. Lots of them. And I didn't understand. And I'm starting to understand now. So, thank you. I was told though about the book, because that's in the doing is the book. It's so much is going on, and they were like, you need to make one chapter where it says, uh, lawyers are the most terrible profession. And I'm like, I don't know. There's a lot of bad ones, but there's some good ones. Very few good ones, but there's some good ones. But yeah, there's I'm telling you, it's been really it's amazing story. It is amazing story. It's super sad story, a horrific story. And but then it is also a story of justice and a remaking of El Paso. I think it's going to be the remaking, the rebuilding of El Paso. And I think Trump is the one to really help us do that. So we'll see. He absolutely knows what's going on there. So we'll see, because there is a constitutional crisis, and we're all, it can't come soon enough, right? Even though everything's going so speedy when it comes to government, but it just can't come soon enough. So keep praying, and thank you so much. And please share this information. It really is good information to share. And let's never forget Richard. Never forget how he stood. He stood up for what's right. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll be back.